students. Today we are to take this class from my own residence. For last 6-7 days, actually I haven't taken any class because our institution has been occupied as quarantine center, and that's why I didn't have good laboratory facilities in my own residence. But today, from my own residence, this class has been taken, and this is the first class relating to the course of higher secondary second year. Dear students, in your higher secondary second year syllabus of education, we are to study altogether 7 units, and the council has given unit-wise marks. Means this is 100 mark paper, and all the 7 chapters. The first chapter carries 20 marks. The second chapter carries 15 marks. The third also carries 15 marks. The fourth one also carries 15 marks. The sixth means fifth one also carries 15 marks, and the seventh one carries 25 marks. In the first unit, 2 units are there. Means 2 units are clubbed in unit number 1. And for this unit, the higher secondary council has preserved 25 marks. 20 marks. Means in your examination, 20 marks question you will find from the first unit, where 2 units are there. And your last chapter will carry, means from your last chapter, unit number 7, you will get 25 marks question in the final examination. So, dear students, you are to put importance just by going through the syllabus of the council, and accordingly you are to prepare yourself. Students, the name of the heading of the unit number 1 is Development of Secondary Education in India as well as in Assam post-independent period. And here you are to study all the historical specifications, all the historical developments which have taken place in the field of secondary education throughout the country, as well as in Assam as a state, what happened in the field of secondary education just after the independence of the country. So today we are to start the class, and this class means all the information are the basic information for the chapter. And let us begin the chapter. Dear students, if you study, this is the chapter of history or unit of history, and once you study the history of Indian education, you will find 2 parts basically. One is history of Indian education before independence, and history of Indian education after independence. And in the history you will find 2 most important parts. That is, one is the ancient history of Indian education, another is the modern history of Indian education. And before independence and after independence, this is the modern history of Indian education part. And once you go back to the ancient history, means in your higher secondary first year, you studied so many things relating to the history of ancient Indian education, and in your second year you are to study the modern history of Indian education, and particularly you are to study just after the independence of the country, and specifically you are to study what happened in the field of secondary education in India as well as in Assam. Dear students, modern history of Indian education basically helps us to know in details about the educational changes that took place in different parts of the country in different phases of time. During British rule, the foundation of modern education was laid with the spirit of the promotion of European literature and science through the medium of English. So friends, once we study the modern history of Indian education before independence, then we must have to go back to Lord Macaulay's unit of 1835, and thenceforth we are to study the Banting's resolution of 1835. Actually, modern history of Indian education before independence means during the period of British regime or British rule. If we are to study, then we must have to go back to the Macaulay's unit of 1835, as well as we are to study about the Banting's resolution, William Banting's Governor General of India, Lord William Banting's resolution of 1835. History has close link, you know. History helps us to know the past events, and that's why once we study the educational history, we can know about the historical development which happened in the field of education or in the field of other areas. And our specification is totally educational field, and that's why we know it so much well that in the Macaulay's Unit of 1835, Lord Macaulay, you see, put importance on the spread of Western education with the help of the medium of English. Let us see the next slide. You will understand so much well. Who was Macaulay? You see, it was Honorable T.B. Macaulay, who at the instance of Lord William Banting, who was the Governor General of India during that time, wrote the famous minutes in favor of British education, which blocked the process of development of the indigenous or native system of education prevalent in different parts of the country. The modern history of Indian education during British rule does witnesses many topsy-turvy situations. Topsy-turvy means ups and down, means many senses, ups and down situations. Once you study the history of Indian education during British regime, you will see that means so many ups and down situations you will find there. However, after the achievement of political independence in 1947, means India became independent democratic republic just after 1947, 15 August, you know it so much well. We became free to plan and act for the systematic development of our educational sector. So friends, means just after the independence of the country, means our country, we had the chance to rebuild everything for the progress of our life, for the uplift of our life, for the transformation of Indian social situation, for the uplift of Indian culture, for getting back or regain back the lost history of in the hands of the English people or British people. So in the field of education too, just after the you see, independence of the country, the national leaders started to think, you see, to change, bring changes, drastic changes, because the leaders felt it so much well, or the leaders understood it so much well that without changing the educational system of the country, it is not so much easy to bring changes towards the social system, towards the social parameters. So, the prime concern just after the independence of the country, means just after 1947, of the national leaders was to bring radical changes and to rebuild the system of modern system of Indian education so that the system can be Indianized. Means Britishers tried to, you see, westernize the system of Indian education. In your first year, you studied what Lord Macaulay said. We want to create a class of people, Indian in blood and color, but British in taste, British in moral, and British in intellect. Means that we were Indian, but they sense our moral, they sense, Britishers sense our taste, Britishers sense our intellectual capabilities. And just after the independence of the country, the leaders felt that the moral of the Indian citizens should be Indianized, the taste of the Indian citizens should be Indianized, the intellectuality of the Indian citizens should be Indianized for bringing radical senses of or drastic senses towards all parameters of our society. So you see, bringing senses to the field of education was the prime concern of all the national leaders. Let us go back to the next slide. This is Lord Macaulay. Lord Macaulay. Who is Lord Macaulay? Thomas Babington. What is his full name? Thomas Babington Macaulay. And he was born on 25th October 1800 and he died on 28th December 1859. Dear students, in your examination, if it is asked to write the full name of Macaulay, then you are to write Thomas Babington Macaulay. Who he was? He was a British historian, and as a British historian, he had ample knowledge relating to the history of the British people or the United Kingdom. And coming back to India, you see, as one of the officers of the British rule or British regime, he tried to bring census, means westernize the Indian system of education. Let us go back to the next slide, you will understand. As a result, from primary to university stages, the whole system of formal education started to witness new changes with free outlooks. Means, just after the independence of the country, as the national leaders wanted to bring radical changes towards the whole social segment of Indian society, you see, they wanted to bring changes from primary level to the university level. And then for secondary education, about which we are discussing now, which was termed as the weakest link, means during that time the standard of secondary education was not so much good. The status of secondary education was not so much positive or not so much rich, and that's why it was said that it was termed as the weakest link, felt the urgent need of change to help the people to realize the socio-political and economic demands of independent democratic society of India. So, dear students, for helping the Indian citizens realize the urgency of democratic culture, our national leaders wanted to bring changes, radical changes from the primary level to the university level, and they specially put importance on bringing changes towards the secondary level of our education. Let us see now. To change the pattern of education, the Central Advisory Board of Education (CABE) in 1948 suggested the Government of India through a resolution to appoint a commission to see the conditions and suggest remedial measures for the upgradation of secondary education. So, dear students, you see how the Secondary Education Commission was and why the Secondary Education Commission was constituted or formulated or appointed. You will come to know whenever you will study the contents of this slide. And the Central Advisory Board of Education (CABE), if in your examination it is asked to write about the full meaning of CABE, then you are to write as Central Advisory Board of Education. So it was the responsibility of the Central Advisory Board of Education, means the board suggested the government to bring to appoint a special committee so that the committee can study the problems of the secondary level of education and submit the report to the government, and accordingly the government can take new steps for bringing radical changes towards the secondary level of education. Let us see the next slide. You see, the Government of India accepted the recommendations of the CABE, means just after the recommendation, immediately the government accepted the recommendation, and on 23rd September, this is very important for you, in 1952, the Secondary Education Commission was appointed. When the Secondary Education Commission was appointed? In 1952, 23rd September. Why it was appointed? Because the CABE, Central Advisory Board of Education, suggested the government for the appointment of this commission so that the commission can study the problems which were there in the field of secondary education, and therefore suggest the government what steps should be taken for bringing radical changes towards the field of secondary education. And under the leadership of Dr. Lakshman Swamy Mudaliar, he was given the responsibility of its chairmanship. Now, in your examination, it may be asked, who was the chairman of the secondary education of 1952? Then you are to write L.K. Mudaliar or Dr. Lakshman Swamy Mudaliar. And he studied the problems of secondary education of the country, and you see, submitted the report, as well as he suggested some important suggestions for the implementation to bring radical changes towards the level of secondary education. Now here in this point, one question is here. You have come to know that Dr. L.K. Swamy Mudaliar was the chairman of the Secondary Education Commission of 1952. But who was L.K. Mudaliar? Let us see now. You see, A. Lakshman Swamy Mudaliar, He was born in 14th October 1887 and died in 15th April 1947. And these are his, you see, information. He was awarded Padma Bhushan, and then after Padma Vibhushan he was also awarded by the government of India, and he was the vice chancellor of the University of Madras. And you know, in your higher secondary first year, you studied about the University of Madras just after, means according to the recommendation of the Despatch of 1854. In 1857, in three major cities of India, three universities were established. Calcutta University, during that time that was Calcutta, now Calcutta. Bombay University, during that time it was Bombay, now it is Madras. And means it is Bombay University, Madras University, Calcutta University, Bombay University and Madras University. Bombay means now it is Mumbai, and then during that time it was Madras University. Now you have come to know Madras University. And Dr. Lakshman Swami Mudaliar was the Vice Chancellor of the University of Madras, and he was given the responsibility, appointed as the Chairman of the Secondary Education Commission of 1952. Let us see the portrait of, this is the portrait. If you go back to, or if you go to Madras University, you will see this is Lakshman Swami Mudaliar, L.K. Mudaliar. His portrait is there. Madras University. I hope after the completion of your graduation, you will you see dream to go to Madras University, and once you go to Madras University, about L.K. Mudaliar, you will come to know in details. He was the Vice Chancellor and he was the Chairman of the Education Commission of 1952. That means the Secondary Education Commission of 1952. Let us see. In July 1964, just after the Secondary Education Commission, another commission was appointed, and the name of the commission is Kothari Commission. And D.S. Kothari, his full name is Dr. D.S. Kothari, Kothari Commission of 1964. In your examination, it may be asked, when Kothari Commission was appointed, you are to write in 1964 and 66. Who was the chairman of Kothari Commission? You are to write Dr. D.S. Kothari. What is the full name of Dr. D.S. Kothari? You are to write as Daulat Singh Kothari. His full name is Daulat Singh Kothari, and he was the chairman of the University Grants Commission. Means you may be asked in your final examination, you write the full form of UGC, then you are to write University Grants Commission. And you see, this is the commission. According to the recommendation of the Commission of 1964 and 66, the government of India, just after the independence of the country in 1947, for the first time formulated the national policy in 1968. This is the first national policy on education which was being formulated as per the recommendation of the Kothari Commission of 1964 and 66. And this is the first national policy which was being formulated by the government of India. And without knowing about the educational policy of 1968, as well as without knowing about or having information relating to the Kothari Commission of 1964 and 66, you never can understand or know about the, you see, prevailing pattern of education, formal education of the country. This is the formal pattern of education of the country, 10 plus 2 plus 3. And this pattern was suggested by the Kothari Commission of 1964 and 66. And in the first national policy of 1968, this pattern was accepted. And once you study this pattern, 10 plus 2 plus 3, you will understand about secondary education in detailed manner. Let us see the next slide. And after 1968, in 1986, the second national policy was, you see, the second national policy was formulated by the government of India. So first was in 1968. This is the second national policy in 1986. And if for your information, though it is not in your syllabus, the third national policy on education, when it is being published, if you want to know, then you are to say that in 2019, the third national policy on education has been formulated, and it has come, the draft policy has come to us, the original policy has also come to us. We have come to know. Once you see it in the internet, you will find all the information. And Now the system of education will again be reformulated according to the National Policy on Education 2019. So up till now we have got three national policies. The first one is in 1968, just after the Kothari Commission of 1964 and 66. The second one is in 1986 and third one is in 2019. So these are the three most important educational policies, and without studying or knowing about the educational policies, we never can understand the formal pattern of Indian education in proper manner. Dear students, Dr. L.K. Mudaliar, he was the Vice Chancellor of the University of Madras, or the Madras University, and you see he was the chairman of the Secondary Education of 1952 and Secondary Education Commission. Without knowing about Secondary Education Commission, you never can know about the secondary education of your country as well as of your state. Let us go to the next slide. In the formal pattern of education, what is secondary education? Let us see now. In the formal pattern of education means 10 plus 2 plus 3. Secondary education has special importance. It is a link between the stages of primary and university education. What is secondary education? It is the link between the primary and university stages of education. Primary stage is the foundation of the whole system of formal education. Primary, we know primary is 10 plus 2 plus 3. In 10, there are two parts. One is for 4 years. 4 years, class 1, class 2, class 3 and class 4. Another is for 6 years. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So 4 plus 6 equal 10. Means primary education is the beginning of the formal process of education in our country. And according to the Constitution of India, primary education formally starts at the age group of class 6. When the children achieves the stage of class 6, his or her primary education begins. And this is the foundation of total formal system of education. And university, this is the foundation, primary, and this is university level. This is the climax and the climax point. So secondary education is in the middle part, means primary and university education. Let us see to understand in details all the stages of the formal system of our education. We have to know this educational ladder, means 10 plus 2 plus 3. That is the new educational structure which was laid down in the first national policy on education 1968. You may be asked in the final examination when the educational structure was, when the educational structure was 10 plus 2 plus 3 pattern started, when since which time we get this 10 plus 2 plus 3 pattern, and according to the suggestion of which national policy this pattern is being implemented or accepted, you are to write or you are to say that according to the suggestion of the first national, or in the first national policy of 1968, which was formulated by the government of India just to implement the recommendation of the Kothari Commission of 1964 and 66, this pattern is being got, or we are following this pattern. And now see, if we analyze the 10 plus 2 plus 3 pattern, we find that in the first stage, that is the stage of plus 10, there are two stages. The first one is the stage of primary education of 4 years. Now it has changed a little bit. And the second one is the stage of secondary education of 6 years. Means class 1, class 2, class 3 and class 4. And 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. These are 6 years. Now it has become 5 plus 5. So this is the whole pattern. And what is secondary? The second stage is the higher secondary stage of 2 years. Here 10 years is school education. For 4 years primary, 6 years secondary, 2 years higher secondary, 3 years undergraduate level of education, degree education. Now let us see the last slide. Yes, secondary education, if you are to define, then we are to say secondary education from this point is the middle part of primary and higher education. What is secondary education? 10 plus 2 plus 3, this educational pattern we are to study, and by studying the 10 plus 2 plus 3 pattern, we can say that secondary education from this point, means by analyzing the educational ladder, is the middle part of primary and higher secondary education. And It is one of the most important stages in which formal education is provided after primary but before university education. In a sense, it is the bridge between the primary and higher stages of education. So friends, dear students, secondary education is just like a bridge between the primary and higher stages of education. Let us see the next slide. This is, if here is primary education, then there is secondary education. Means without crossing, here is primary education, there is higher secondary and college education, and this is the secondary education. Primary education is the foundation of the total process of Indian education, and higher education is there just after the next part of the bridge, and the middle part is the part of secondary education. So dear students, this chapter is so much important for you, and for knowing about the whole historical development in the field of secondary education in India as well as in Assam, you are to study or you are to know about Lord Macaulay's unit. Again, you are to remember about which you studied in your higher secondary first year course, and thenceforth you are to study about Lord William Bentinck's resolution of 1835, and thenceforth you are to come back to 1947, 15 August when we got independence, and after then you are to study about the Mudaliar Commission of 1952 and 53, thenceforth you are to study about the Kathari Commission of 1964 and 66, thenceforth you are to know about the first national policy of education which was formulated by the government of India in 1968. After that you are to know about the national policy of education 1986, and thenceforth you are to study particularly those students who are expecting out of 100 marks, they are to know or even they are to study about the latest national policy on education 2019, and according to the suggestion of the Kothari Commission of 1964 and 66, the structure of education, that is 10 plus 2 plus 3, this structure was accepted by the government of India, and it was placed in the first national policy of 1968. So this much for today. On in the next class, I will discuss in detailed manner about secondary education, the aims and objectives, the problems, the curriculum, all these things I will discuss. I hope you are in relaxed position. Though a little bit stress is there in your mind, there is a question when the college will reopen. Still you never can spend your time without any academic exercise. So my earnest request and advice to you is, staying at home, you study everything in relaxed manner, so that without any loss of academic year or time, you can make yourself ready to face your examination in proper manner. Thank you so much. I will meet you in next class, and I will discuss in detailed manner about secondary education. Thank you.